Senator Jack Reed is here with us. He's a Rhode Island Democrat. He's a member of the Intelligence Committee. Senator, thanks very much for joining us.
Thanks, Will.
So what exactly are you looking for from Michael Flynn?
Well, the requests were from documents related to his dealings, any dealings with Russia, anything that would be relevant to the issues that's been raised by the intelligence community of contacts between the Trump campaign and the Russian government and Russian intelligence.
He's refusing to testify unless he's granted immunity, right?
He refused to testify unless he's granted immunity.
Any chance he'll be granted immunity?
I do not think so, no. Particularly after rejecting the request for records. He's made a claim under the Fifth Amendment that it would be could be incriminating. That's his right as a citizen, but it's not clear records alone, they're not testimonial. That claim that we're still not accepting. But what we've done, and the leadership of Senator Burr and Senator Warner, is issued another request for documents from companies that he organized who are not individuals, and those records should be available.
Do you expect to get those documents?
We hope we do.
Are his lawyers saying those are subject to his Fifth Amendment privilege as well?
They very well might. I'm not aware we received a response yet, but our position would be, and there is case law to support this, that the Fifth Amendment right adheres to a person's self-incrimination, not to a company's and documents that the company has.
So you think you'll get those documents?
I think that they will probably try to delay and perhaps make the same argument about the Fifth Amendment, although we don't think it holds water.
As you know, Paul Manafort, who was the Trump campaign chairman, he turned over 300 pages of documents to the committee. Have you seen those pages? Do you know what you're looking for in those documents?
Again, I can't comment on the specifics, but in general, we're looking for any indication of contacts between the Trump campaign and Russia or any other foreign powers. That's because of the conclusions that our intelligence community made public in January, that there was very clear evidence that there was a deliberate attempt by the Russian government, ordered by Putin, to engage in our elections, to take steps to actually be disruptive of our electoral process.
We heard on CNN, on Anderson Cooper's show last night, that a friend of the fired FBI Director James Comey says the president should be scared by the prospects of Comey's testimony that he's about to deliver before your committee after Memorial Day. Is there a date yet when that will take place?
There has been a discussion of dates. That's not, I think, absolutely firm yet, but there's been a commitment to have the hearing, have it open, ask questions, and I think Director Comey will be very forthcoming.
Well, what do you expect to hear from him?
Well, I think he will indicate his position with respect to the comments and discussions he's had with the president, or had with the president. I think he will be not try to interfere with the ongoing investigation, but he will make it clear if it comes to things that he has personal knowledge of, what he knows and what he thinks about those suggestions.
Do you think he'll make available the contemporaneous memoranda that he wrote following his conversations, his meetings with President Trump?
I would hope so, but that's nothing that I can confirm at this moment.
Because you've seen all the reports that the president tried to dissuade him from going forward, supposedly, with the entire investigation.
I would think, but again, this is just thinking forward, is that if he has such a document, that would add credence to his testimony, and given his training as a lawyer and his professional skills, he would want to document, not just verbally, but in writing if he has such documents. But that's something that he'll have to make a judgment.
The Senate Democrats, including you, have written to the White House asking for more cooperation in the entire investigation. Tell us about that. What's the point? Are you not getting full cooperation from the White House right now?
Well, it's cooperation through a number of agencies. There are financial records which the Treasury Department holds in terms of transfers of money. There's information that the FBI has, information that our intelligence services have, and we just wanted to request any cooperation as possible. I think that's a thoughtful and appropriate message to the White House that we want cooperation.
And so you're waiting for a reply to that. Yes. Very quickly, while I have you, the Manchester terror attack earlier in the week, it now looks like it was a much more sophisticated operation. What's the latest you're hearing? You're on the Intelligence Committee.
Well, I'm hearing mostly, as you are, from public sources, not from from intelligence sources that it would seem sophisticated because of the nature of the device and what they know about the suspect in terms of his ability to build it. Also, the planning to go there. Apparently, he left from London to go to Manchester. The targeting of a audience that was predominantly made up of young women because of the appeal of the singer. And all those things suggest a degree of planning sophistication that was not just off the cuff or random or a target of opportunity.
We now know that this terrorist who blew himself up was in Libya just days before coming back to Manchester and then blowing himself up, killing and injuring all of these people. Yesterday I spoke to Congressman Mike McCaul. He's the chairman of the House Homeland Security Committee. He wasn't sure if this was Al-Qaeda or ISIS or maybe some other terror group. What are you hearing?
Again, I don't think there's been any attribution. ISIS has claimed it, but it reflexively claims any type of incident like this as they're doing. I don't think anyone has made a determination yet. It's early. I know the intelligence services, both the United States and Great Britain, are cooperating very closely together, particularly on the activities of individual in Libya or elsewhere. They're trying to reconstruct the picture, and also the British particularly are trying to disrupt any type of associates or accomplices he may have in Great Britain.
Because others have been arrested. Now, here's the question, though. Was he simply inspired by a terror organization like ISIS or Al-Qaeda, or was he actually organized? Was it part of a much more formal organized terror plot?
Well, that's the question, I think, that the law enforcement intelligence service is trying to get to the bottom. There are situations, as you point out, where there's an individual who self-radicalizes through the internet, then does something without any cooperation or anything else. And then there's a possibility, which is much more sinister, that there was a network of people. He was provided aid, he was provided training, he was provided instructions. That's more detrimental and more dangerous to us.
And the British government has now gone on the highest state of alert, fearing that another terror attack could be imminent, which is related to what happened in Manchester. Senator Reid, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Will.
Jack Reid of Rhode Island.